Okay, so Vanguard has been out for just over a week, and I wanted to make a video talking about whether I think you should or shouldn't buy Vanguard. There's been a lot of talk on social media about whether it's a good COD on launch. There's always that argument. So I'm going to be giving the pros and the cons, at least from my personal opinion, on reasons that you maybe should buy this game, reasons that might put you off buying the game. And also, this is going to be my first video on the Road to Atomic. I've done a Road to Damascus series on Modern Warfare 2019, which I really enjoyed. I didn't have the time to do it on Cold War. I kind of don't really have the time to do it here either, like a full one. So what I'm going to do is kind of every couple of guns I'm going to upload a video for it, because I do miss making these gameplay videos. I do a lot of the G Fuel reviews. I've got my G Fuel here ready to go. I miss making the gameplay videos. So let's get into it. First gun I'm going for is the STG44. Now, in COD 5, this was like the best assault rifle that you could get. I'm pretty sure it was the last one, if I remember correctly. But in this game, it's the starting assault rifle, which is never good news. They're not usually the best, and in this COD, it's no different. It's not the best gun. I have tried assault rifles that you unlock further on, and they're much better than the STG, but I've only got 2 camos left. I don't want to make this video far too long. I've unlocked pretty much everything else. I'm going to talk about camos, but for the gold STG, I only need to get another 19 kills with these specific attachments, which are this barrel here, this magazine here, the 30 round, and then the 220 rapid barrel, and the VDD 27 stock. Now, we've jumped straight into Tuscan, which I'm going to use this as the chance to talk about the first the maps in this game, especially this one. I love it. This map reminds me of one of the maps from Black Ops 4. I can't remember the name of it, but the maps overall are pretty well worked. There's a couple where I'm not a big fan of them, but overall they're much better than Cold War. The Cold War maps are absolutely terrible. Modern Warfare 2019 maps are pretty decent. I have a feeling, because I'm on hardcore, I'm going to run through this gold gun pretty quickly. They've remastered some of the COD 5 maps, so they've remastered Dome, and they've also, oh my god, they've also remastered Castle, which was one of my favourite maps from COD 5. I definitely think that going forward, they're probably gonna remaster. I can't see them not remastering more COD 5 maps as part of the season passes. I forgot how difficult it is to commentate and play at the same time. Overall, maps are really good. This is probably one of my more favourite maps. Castle is my favourite. It's always going to be. Any COD 5 remastered map, I think, is going to be better than anything they could produce for a brand new map right now. I'm hoping that they remaster Roundhouse. Definitely, Roundhouse and, what was that? Mackin. They were amazing maps. So I think we're probably going to get something like that further down the line. Next pro that I'm going to talk about, which you probably noticed. Hang on. I haven't demonstrated that well because I'm rusty at commentating and playing at the same time. And that is the gunplay. The gunplay, for some reason in this, it's off of the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, which is another pro. If you like that game, you'll like the engine that this is running from. The gunplay's just smooth. In Cold War, I don't know, there was just something about it. I always lost gunfights, and I'm not a bad player. I'm probably like quite average, but in Cold War, you would lose gunfights that you were like positive you'd won. He says as he misses all his shots. There's a con. Camping. Camping's really bad. A lot of people had complaints about that engine, but there's always going to be people complaining about every COD. First game done, and I'm pretty much finished gold. I think I've only got a couple more kills. This is something they've added in new. The play the game is never new, but this end the game thing here. Play the game's pretty bad. It shows a couple of kills. That was a very average run. It doesn't show the whole thing that actually is what triggered the play the game. This system here, the voting system. So this person got most multi-kills in the game. This person got most time near enemies, which is so pointless, and then this person got team runner-up. And everyone votes for what they think's more valuable. You get XP for voting, and then the person that wins gets more XP. It's a nice engagement tool, but in reality, it's just annoying. It just adds this extra time to the end of a round that I would rather be in another game now. So STG, we got one of the camos there. I only need 9 more kills with these attachments and we've got gold. Very quickly, while I'm in this menu, this is one of the pros and the cons I'm going to say, is that the attachments that you can add. As you can see, you can have 10 attachments on your gun now, which is amazing. Before, you could only get, previous CODs have limited, you know, you had, at the very beginning, you had to use a perk to use more than one, and then they've just slowly increased it to now we have 10 slots available on the guns, which is crazy. The issue, so that's a pro, is the fact you can have all these attachments. The con that I want to mention, the issue I have with it is some of the attachment perks, so the pros and the cons of the attachments, that's not a new system. We had that for a couple of years. They don't make sense. So if you remember the monolithic suppressor from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, probably the most popular attachment, if you go to the best attachment, you only have two now, the MX and the Mercury. If you go to this attachment, you get sound suppression, recoil control. It minuses damage range, which I suppose when you think about a suppressor, that in real life, yeah, probably, but in Call of Duty, this actually, in Modern Warfare and in Warzone, this added range. The monolithic gave you added damage across range, which is why everyone used it. You stayed off the minimap, you got the added damage range. On hardcore, this thing was lethal. But now it's like, I mean, yeah, you get some recoil control. Obviously, you're going to get that sound suppression. That's a given as using a suppressor, but the damage range being gone is I'll be honest, it's pretty annoying. The first suppressor that you get that sound suppression. You get accuracy. This is a new one for Vanguard. Another con. What the hell does accuracy mean? I'm yet to find out what accuracy overall means. And then this reduces aim down sight speed, which I guess the barrel is now heavier. It makes sense. This is the other con for like some of the attachments that don't make sense. One of the barrels for the STG, I guess you get it across all assault rifles as well, is you get highly, in the pros it says highly accurate and controllable. Is that recoil control? Is it horizontal recoil control? Is it vertical recoil control? We don't know. You know, it's too vague in my opinion. I have a feeling they might tweak the description of that. It's just there's so many attachments and the descriptions are pretty vague. They're pretty random at best. What I do like though is the amount of sights. In my opinion, I used to think that Cold War had too many sights, but there is now. There'll be scopes in here which I will guarantee never touch in my Vanguard career. I will go from this COD to the next COD without touching probably a few of these sights. The best sight without a doubt right now is the slate reflector. The slate reflector. The NIDAR Model 47 is also very good. And then I think the monocular reflector is also not too bad. Not tried any of the scopes. I'm not a scope kind of guy on an assault rifle. But yeah, I mean, the attachment system overall is a pro because there's more, but the actual description of some of the battle, like how does a barrel muzzle attachment increase fire rate? How does that work? It's just, there's some things I disagree with, some things I really like. Something else that I very want to quickly cover before I jump into the next lobby is this new combat pacing. They've added this recently where you can choose whether you have 6v6, 10v10, 12v12, 14v14 across all of the maps. So each map that was, you know, for example, Castle was designed in World at War and it was designed for 6v6. You can now have 12v12 on that map depending on the combat pacing that you choose. As you go further along, you include more people. It's pretty mad. I don't think it was necessary. You know, I have had some really good games on Blitz, you know, with loads of people on each team. I've had really good games on Tactical. I've had really bad games on Tactical and really bad games on Blitz. And for me, I don't think it was necessary. I think they should have just left this as it was. Maybe some people like the higher lobby sizes, you know, with certain maps, you do probably need more people, but you can't choose the map. You can choose the amount of people, so you might jump into a really small map with loads of people, whereas you wanted to play one of the bigger maps like Berlin with a lot of people. You don't get to pick, and it's a system where I think needs tweaking. Whether they add a map selector, which I don't think they will. I think it's also too late for them to completely remove this, but I definitely think it needs reworked in some way. Something else that I wanted to touch on is the fact that the game seems to be pretty well optimized. Without going into too much detail on CPU usage versus GPU usage, I'm just going to base it off of FPS. And I mean, right now I'm recording and I'm getting, like, it seems to be a max of like 180 I got there. Obviously I've came out into the big city now, so it's kind of dipped to 140, which for me is more than enough. I very rarely get lag spikes. The servers seem to be pretty solid, as are Call of Duty servers usually. Battlefield launched the other day and the servers are absolutely atrocious. The lag is ridiculous. I haven't experienced lag in this. I know some people have. I don't know if that's maybe a connection to the overall server or whether that's internet usage. I don't know. But in terms of graphics, the game looks really good. It runs really well. I've got a 2070 and an i9 9900K, and I think the game runs really well for me. I have no complaints. Battlefield, I've been playing a lot the last couple of days, and I have a lot of complaints about that. I'm going to do a video on whether you should buy Battlefield or not in the next maybe week or 2 weeks. Another pro is the game is cross-platform. Now, we've had cross-platform for the last couple of Call of Duties, and even though it seems to, it's going to be the industry standard, I think it's still worth mentioning at the minute that it is a huge pro, especially as someone who's a streamer. I like playing with a lot of my viewers. Some are console, some are PC, some, you know, within console you've got Xbox and PlayStation. I love being able to play with everyone and not have to worry about what console they're on. So that's a little one that I want to throw in there, because even though, as I said, it's going to be industry standard soon enough, it's still something that I value quite highly. Just off the back of graphics, what I will say is a con is the visibility can be pretty bad. bad. There's been complaints in the last couple of Call of Duties about visibility being bad, especially with the rose skin. We all remember that drama. And I mean, my eyes are, maybe it's just my eyes adjusting to the game over the last week or 2 weeks, but sometimes you get shot and, you know, the person's moving about and you struggle to see them. You know, it's like I didn't even see that guy. A lot of the time, as I said, camping in this Call of Duty is definitely the worst it's ever been. I'm not usually one to complain about the way people play the game. You know, you can camp if you want. I try and play quite fast-paced, but I have noticed specifically in this Call of Duty that camping is the worst it's ever been. I've seen complaints about it on Twitter. It's not just me. On PC, you can get NVIDIA filters which make the game a little bit more bearable in terms of seeing people, in terms of visibility. I don't like tweaking with NVIDIA filters. I like playing the game raw as it came. I think all these visibility and filter settings that people used in Warzone, it just ruined the look of the game. Overall though, the way the game looks, I think it's great. Graphics are amazing. I've run it a little bit lower than what my PC can handle, just because, as I say, I'm recording for YouTube. I'm streaming as well, which takes up quite a lot of PC power, so I actually need to focus on this camo. It's been a long time since I made one of these Road 2 videos, and playing and commentating at the same time, it's a skill that I thought was easy. There's a guy there. Last couple of cons before I finish the video on a high note is just something very small. In my opinion, the atomic camo, the camo that I'm grinding for right now is, in my opinion, it's shit. All they've done is they've taken Damascus from Modern Warfare and they've just basically made it not reactive, but it moves. I don't know what the word for it is. I don't know if there is a word. It's moving Damascus basically, and Damascus, when it first came out, people weren't too happy with. As I got further into the game, Damascus definitely grew on me. Maybe this one will as well. Just overall, first impressions of the mastery camo. I mean, the amount of grind you have to put into this is absolutely ridiculous, and to get something like atomic at the end of it, I don't know who designed it. In my opinion, it's not a nice camo. It's not worth the grind. I'm gonna go for it anyway, just for fun. But the con that's connected with that is the camo grind itself. I think I just got gold. Is that gold? Yes, we got gold. Nice. Okay, after this game I'm going to change the attachments. We'll put some gold on while I finish off the video. The camo grind for this game, it was bad enough in Modern Warfare 2019. It became manageable. Why did I stop shooting? It became manageable. You had to figure out mounted kills, you had to do long shots, and it got to the point where the more guns you did, the more efficient you became with it. Maybe that'll be the case with this, but the one big gripe I have with this game is the camo that I'm working on now. You have to use specific attachments that they want you to use, which in my opinion make the gun so much worse. Oh my god. And then you have to get certain types of kills. So for example, long shots, ADS kills, movement kills, headshots. It's lazy. You know, they couldn't really come up with anything else, so they basically, well, we'll make them use the attachments that we want and get different. You know, I've already had to do 100 headshots. Why am I having to do 100 headshots again with specific attachments? It's lazy development, and that is a huge argument and a huge complaint that I've heard on the YouTube community, because a lot of YouTubers make their living from making these Road to Atomic, Road to Damascus videos, and if the grind is absolutely ridiculous, it's going to put a lot of people off. Like Jev's most recent video on YouTube is the atomic grind is already killing me or something like that. And last con of the video, or last one that I can think of, is the prestige system is still shit. They brought in this new prestige system. It's tied to season passes. It's all to make money. That is still in the game. You know, they got rid of the traditional prestige system, which in my mind was perfect. You got to level 55, you reset, lost all your guns, all your progression, and you built back up, and you build all the way to prestige 10, and you got ultimate bragging rights for that prestige icon. I don't think there's anyone would agree that the new prestige system is better. Alright, so we finally have gold. I'm gonna put gold on and give my last impressions. Oh, look at that. Let me get these attachments off. So that is the base STG. Actually, a pro, sorry, now that I think about it, is in Modern Warfare 2019, the gold didn't cover the whole gun. I think it looked pretty bad on most of the guns, whereas they have covered 99% of the gun with gold in this. It looks way better. Another con, just that I'm going to throw in there very quickly while I remember, is Ninja and Ghost and Cold-Blooded are all in the same slot, which for me is a cardinal sin. Normally, we're used to these being split up so you could use at least two at the same time. We're used to having Ninja and Cold-Blooded in separate slots. The fact that they brought Ninja back actually in itself is a pro, because in Modern Warfare, to use Ninja, you had to use Dead Silence, which was a field upgrade, so you had to wait on that refreshing. Whereas now it's active 24/7 in-game, and it works really well. The footsteps are silent, but you have to pretty much give up Ghost, sorry. You have to give up Ghost. You show up on every enemy UAV to use Ninja. I haven't tried both out yet to see which one's more valuable. I know that the fact that most people are using Ninja makes me want to use Ninja because I don't want to be heard, but not being on UAV is something that I value quite highly. And for these to be in the same slot, it's just annoying that you've got to pick between the two. Look how good this gun looks in gold. The whole thing is covered and it looks amazing. But yeah, the final pro that I want to end with, and it's probably the one that's the biggest for me, is when they were making this game, one of the devs said that they wanted to take some creative liberties with this, which basically meant that even though this is a World War II game and you have to kind of follow some degree of realism, they wanted to add stuff which people knew would be like, well, that's not realistic. Like, look, I've got essentially a red dot on my STG, which never happened in World War II, obviously. The fact that they've taken the creative liberties and feel confident enough to add stuff to the game which may or may not have existed back in the day, just to make the game better, I think it's one of the... Hang on, there we go. I think it's one of the defining qualities of this game. And also the potential for them to take this, where they can take this game in the future. It's very clear that they want to base this game around COD 5. They didn't make COD 5 Remastered, but the fact that they can make brand new Vanguard maps, but then also maybe with season passes throw in some World at War maps, like I said earlier. I want to see Mackin, I want to see Roundhouse. They could also throw in some World at War guns. I have a feeling I would put good money on the fact that we are probably going to get the M1A1 carbine with a season pass at some point. I don't think it will come with season 1. I think that's too good a gun to add straight at the start. But I think we're definitely going to see some stuff from COD 5 return. Maybe some prestige icons, maybe some guns, definitely some maps, maybe... I don't know, I don't know, I can't remember the game modes of COD 5, but we might see some new stuff. I just think the way they're heading is one of the biggest pros and why I think you should buy this game. Overall, I think it's definitely worth picking up. It's had one of the best launches of any modern COD that I can remember, which isn't just my opinion. That was the kind of consensus on Twitter as well, as people were saying that this game just feels good. There's just something about it. The gameplay's good, all the stuff that I mentioned, all the pros, all of that aside, the game just feels... It feels just polished. I don't know what it is. It's like they've actually... It kind of hurts to say that a game company has actually finished a game before launching it. And that's pretty much where we are with Vanguard at the minute. Obviously, they're going to add stuff that's going to be broken. It happens every COD. They're going to add a new gun. It's going to be overpowered. Everyone's going to use it. It's going to get nerfed. And then no one uses it again. Look at the DMR from Warzone. That's going to happen. There is going to be mistakes like that. But overall, the premise of the game is just fantastic. Definitely watch out for more... Vanguard videos in the future. I'm enjoying making this. I need to get the hang of commentating and recording and playing at the same time again, but hopefully this video turns out alright. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you like G Fuel, look at some of my G Fuel reviews. But if you want to subscribe just for the gameplay videos, you've got loads of them to look forward to, especially with Battlefield and this as well. But thank you for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next gold gun video, which I don't know what it's going to be. Stay tuned, find out. See you later.